haftorahs are equal, but are the same rather. But there are certain haftorahs that are different. The difference really began in Israel and in Bavel, and it was carried over by the Ashkenazim and the Sephardim. The Sephardim are Eretz Yisrael, and the Ashkenazim are basically Bavel, as far as custom is concerned. Aniyah Soar Olonu Chama. Jerusalem is Aniyah, a poor woman, Soara, who is stormy, who wanders from place to place. Lonu Chama, and finds no comfort anywhere. Again, a description of the Jewish people. The Jewish people are not comforted anywhere. The only place the Jewish people find comfort is in Jerusalem, in their own home. Everywhere else they wander. Every exile has its own fate, and our exile here in the United States is constant wandering, even though no one pursues us. Many Jewish communities in the United States have moved 4 or 5 times in 1 century. Abandoned millions of dollars worth of buildings to go on and do it again. Not good enough. So God said, I shall set your stones in the most gorgeous setting, like a jeweler that takes a precious stone and sets it. And I shall establish you with sapphires, with most gorgeous stones. The rabbis always said that sapphire, which is one of the stones that appeared on the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol, always had a certain quality to it because its blueness represented the heaven, was a reflection of the heaven. And therefore, even though there may be other stones that were more valuable, let us say, or more expensive, but the sapphire was like always a Jewish stone. The Samti Chad Code Shimshosayach. Shimshosayach means your window will be made out of crystal. Ushorayach le'avnei ekdoch. And your gates will be made from polished stone, that they look like stone that has been polished, that's on fire, burnished. The whole Gvulech, and your entire border, meaning wherever Jews live in the land of Israel, will be le'avnei chefetz, will be of desirable stone. So many say that that refers to the Jerusalem stone that will be built. You know, that the sunlight, it takes on certain characteristics, certain colors, it has an iridescence to it, a certain beauty to it. All your children will know, will be taught, will be educated in the ways of God. Again, the great prophecy, not easy to fulfill. Universal education. But universal education in terms of Torah, universal education. Chol banayach limudei Hashem. Rav shlom banoyach, and great will be their peace. The Meforshim say here a number of pshatim. First of all, they say, when is it peace among the Jewish people? When v'chol banayach limudei Hashem, when all of the Jewish people are educated in the ways of God, then there's peace. But if some are and some aren't, and there are different interpretations of what the ways of God are, so then that brings about strife instead of harmony. Our rabbis change the word here. Our rabbis say, Al tikra bonoyach ala bonoyach. Do not read the word only as it says, bonoyach, your children, but bonoyach, those who are your builders, those who build the Jewish people. So great will be the peace of those who build the Jewish people. And who are the ones who build the Jewish people? The Limudei Hashem. Those who are knowledgeable in the ways of God, those who serve the Rabboni Shalom, those who study. B'tzedakah tikononi, you shall be established in tzedakah. Tzedakah is righteousness. And the Navi says it later, Zion b'mishpat tipodeh v'shoveha b'tzedakah. Zion is built upon righteousness. You cannot build it upon things that are wrong, upon exploitation, upon cheating, upon robbery. That doesn't help. That is not lasting. That's the words of the rabbi, Sheker ein lo raglayim. What is essentially false does not stand the test of time. Only in righteousness will Jerusalem be established. Me'oshek, rachaki me'oshek, stay away from oppression, from robbery, from extortion, from exploitation. Ilo siroi, you have nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. People do things because they're afraid. Because they're afraid, therefore they do things that are illegal. And they justify it because of the fact that the pressures upon them caused it to happen. Well, we are all subject to that. But the idea that is brought about here is that the illegality eventually will not last. Uminchita, and don't be terrorized. Don't be afraid. It will not come close to you. It will not hit you. Ein gor yogur, efes meosi. Also a great expression. Ein gor yogur, you want to be afraid of something. Efes, there's nothing in the world to be afraid of, except meosi, except me. That's the phrase in the Chumash, lo saguru mitnei ish, do not be afraid of any man. God says that, what? Gur is afraid. No. Different language. Gur yogur means don't be frightened, don't be terrorized. Efes, there is nothing to be afraid of. Me'osi, only of me. Now we say that in Hallel, right? Hashem li lo ira, mayasa li oda. God is with me, then I have nothing to be afraid of. He is not with me, then I have nothing to be confident in. Mi gorita, who that dwells with you. Alayich yipo, will he fall upon you? In other words, that's a question. Who are you afraid of? You think that they're going to do something to you? They're going to attack you? They're going to triumph over you? It can't happen. Why? Because again, God is the one that is in charge. Hinei anochi barasi chorosh. Behold, I have created the smithy. The Navi speaks in his time. So in his time, they were afraid of spears and of burnished iron and of arrows and of metal, chariots, etc. But in our time, the Navi would say, I have created nuclear energy. I have created rocket propulsion. What are you afraid of? Who created it? Who loosed these forces in nature? Who allows them to exist? Nofeach be'esh pecham. I am the one that has created, the one that causes the fire to come forth from the bellows. He blows on the bellows of the coals in order to raise the fire. Describing the smithy's art. We are not accustomed to it. Nobody goes down to the corner to watch the blacksmith shoe a horse anymore. But for centuries on end, this was an imagery that was understandable to everyone. Motzi chlila ma'aseyu, the one that creates utensils, tools, for the purposes that they were manufactured. So I'm the one that has done it. V'onochi borosi mashchis lechabel, and I am the one that has also created the instruments of war, the instruments of destruction, the instruments that come to destroy. I have created them as well. I guarantee you, God says, Kol kli yutzar alayich lo yitzlach. Every weapon created against you will be unsuccessful. The rockets won't land. Don't worry. Kol kli yutzar alayich, every utensil created to harm you, lo yitzlach, will not be successful. V'chol loshon toku mitoch lamishpo tarshi, and every tongue that comes to stand against you in judgment, that accuses you, tarshi, you will find them guilty. They will be guilty. The ones that speak against Israel, the ones that speak against the Jewish people, that speak against God, they will be found wanting. They will be found guilty. The end is that they are the ones that fall. Zos nachalas avdei Hashem. B'tzidkosa meyitinu Hashem. This is the nachala, the inheritance of those who serve God. Their ultimate triumph, their ultimate victory is that they see the defeat of their enemies. B'tzidkosa meiti, and their righteousness come forth from me, their victory comes forth from me, Num Hashem, says God. Hoi kol tzomei l'chu lamayim, the Navi says. Anybody that is thirsty, come to the water to drink. Free water. The description here is again a desert. And there's an oasis. And at the oasis there's a free coke machine.
Why don't you let me bring it again and I want to pick off and do it my way?
It's free.
Do it my way. And getting rid of all
A rabbi say a mayim el Torah. The waters that are represented here are the words of God. A world that is thirsty for something of substance, for something of meaning, who is thirsty to have eternity and to have a purpose to life, come. Drink from God's water.
It's fully off where you.
Our rabbis give us the imagery here of water is quenches thirst. There are other liquids that increase a person's thirst. Salt water, sugared water, certain sweet sodas, etc. That makes you more thirsty. Water always slakes a person's thirst. Basher ein lo kesef, and somebody you say you can't afford it, you don't have money, it's free. I offer you something that's free. L'chu shivru ve'acholim. Come, sit down and eat. L'chu shivru below chesef. Eat, satisfy yourselves without cost. Below mechir, without any price. I will not ask you later for the price. Yayin v'cholav. You'll have food and water and drink, but you'll have wine and milk. You'll have everything that you want. Our rabbis always compare the words of Torah to wine, to milk, to honey, to delicacies that a person enjoys. Because originally Torah is like water. It satisfies our thirst, but it has no taste. But the more a person delves into the Torah, the more a person understands, the greater a person is in terms of analysis. So then, in the Torah you taste everything. The Torah is like the mun. It has every imaginable taste. And that's why it has that attraction. It's able to stand the test of time. So now the Navi says, Loma fishkalu kesef below lechem. Why should you pay good money and not even get a slice of bread? That's the description of life. Work like a dog and you have nothing to show for it. You go through, it costs anyway. Below lechem. You pay for it and you have nothing out of it. I always am taken by some of the bumper stickers that you see. You know, lately there's a plethora of bumper stickers that say life is a, and then there's an obscenity. But I always, the guy that's got that on his bumper sticker is usually driving a $15,000 car that obviously doesn't do it for him. That even so, that's what the Navi says, why should you pay? You know, you pay so much, you don't have anything for it. V'yigiachem, and why should you work so hard, toil, below l'sovo, without any satisfaction, without any feeling of accomplishment? I always mention that the greatest and largest industry in the United States is the industry of, quote, having a good time, unquote. Billions and billions of dollars are expended in having a good time. But if we're honest with ourselves, the number of moments in life that we have a good time probably can be counted on the fingers of both hands, or even on the fingers of one hand. It's hard to have a good time in this world. So, people pay $100, $150 to go out for the night, they come home tired and sick and all the problems, disappointed. Many times you come home in a worse mood than you went. That story I told the boys in the yeshiva many times, that the last year when the New England Patriots went to the Super Bowl, so there was one of their rabid fans, so he saved up and he went all the way to California and he got tickets. It cost him a fortune, and the New England Patriots lost and he committed suicide, which is an extreme example. But, that's the end of the good time, right? That's the Navi says, to toil and not have anything from it. Shimu Shamo Elai, God says, listen to me, I have a good idea for you. I'm going to give you a good time. V'yichlu tov, you'll eat good things, v'tzisana badesha nafshechem. And your heart, your soul, will enjoy life. I'll give you the fattest, the good, the most enjoyable things imaginable, things that are lasting to you. Even now, it's many years later, I remember times when I was in the yeshiva. I remember a shalashudis, the camaraderie, the spirit, the speech of the Rebbe, even the miserable jello and tuna fish that we ate. And that was a good time. And if I could do that again, I could recapture that, so that even though the moment lives with me, it lives with me always. And that was a good time, and it was on the cheap. I didn't realize. So that's what the Navi says. God says, I'll give you a good, I'll give you a mitzvah, I'll give you, you'll have a moment that'll be uplifting, that'll remain with you. Hatu oznechem, bend your ear, listen to me. Come to me. Don't go somewhere God is hawking his wares in the street. Come to me. The rabbis give the example of a man that announced, Mio isha chofetz chayiv. I sell life, he says. Among all the vendors that exist in the street, the world has one large flea market. So there's a booth that's called life. Shimu, listen to me, uschi nafshechem, and your heart will be refreshed. I will make for you an eternal covenant. Chasdei David HaNe'amonim. The goodness that I promised, the covenant that I promised to David HaNe'amonim, which is an eternal, faithful, sure thing. You don't ever have to worry. The money's in the bank. It's there, 100%, no doubt. Ein eid li'umin nesati. Behold, the Jewish people are a witness to the nations of the world. The great idea of the witness people. So the Goyim took and made the witness people. The Christians said, we're the witness people. We have to witness all of the troubles of the world in order to testify that we were wrong. But our interpretation of the witness people is that we were right. We are the witness people who have seen everything in civilization occur. And at the end, when everything bankrupts, we will be here. We are the witness as to all civilization. That's why the Jews make people uncomfortable. We've seen it already. Nogid u'metzave li'umi. Nogid, a prince. Someone that commands the nations. The Jewish people are the aristocracy of humanity. They are the special soul. Ein goy lo seda tikra. Nations that you never heard of will call on to you that you should help them. V'goy lo yedoucha elecha yorutzu. And nations who never knew you will come on to you for your help. So we see that's not only agricultural aid to underdeveloped societies, which is also part of it. We're talking about spiritual sustenance. We're talking about inspiration for the rest of humanity. People will look at you as a role model. People will look at you as someone to be emulated, someone that has something that is not shortchanged in life. That's the great blessing regarding the Jewish people. And others will recognize it. The Jewish people perhaps take it for granted, but others will recognize it. Such concepts as we have given the world already. Where would civilization be without the Jewish input into it? But it's only the beginning. All of this will happen not because of you alone. It happens because of the fact that the Ribono Shel Olam is your God. And He is committed to you, and He has made these promises to you. And it will happen because of the Holy One of Israel, because He finds glory in you. You are His glory, and He is your glory. Our rabbis interpreted that literally. We have our glory, it's Oter Yisrael B'Sifora, is the tefillin shel rosh that we wear. So in our tefillin it says, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. The Gemara says, what does it say in God's tefillin? God also wears tefillin. We say that non Zmiros, right? Kesher tefillin hera la'onav. That Moshe saw God's tefillin, the back of God's tefillin. So what does it say in God's tefillin? So the Gemara says, Mika Amcha Yisrael Lo Yechad Bo. Who is like your people? So God is proud of us. And sometimes you see parent and a child, right? I'm proud to be so-and-so's child. And the parent says, I'm proud to be so-and-so's parent. There's a mutual admiration society, so to speak, a mutual pride which exists in the family. The Gemara has many times, the Gemara says, Abuah to Shmuel. Shmuel's father said this and this. He had no name. He was so proud that he was Shmuel's father that he called himself Shmuel's father. And there are people that call themselves somebody else's son, right? Ben Zoma. You know, he doesn't even mention who his father was. But then there are people who are both. The father is proud of the son is proud of the father. So the Ribono Shel Olam Kaviyachol, that's his relationship with the Jewish people. We say, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, and he says, Mi Gam Yisrael Go Echad Bar.